and welcome to Art with Joyce. Today I will be showing you how to make a painting inspired by Piet Mondrian. For this project you are going to need paper, paint in black and the primary colors, so yellow, blue, and red, and a paintbrush. First you are going to use your black paint and you're going to create a grid. You just dip your paintbrush in the black paint and then choose a spot on your paper that you would like to start. So I think I'm going to start right here. So I'm going to just make a line going straight up, and you might have to get more paint as you go, and that is fine. If you run out, you can just dip it in again and then pick up where you left off and just carry it out. So I'm just creating a black line that goes from one side of the paper to the other. Once you have your first line, you're going to choose another spot along this black line that we just did, and you're going to put your paintbrush there and then go straight out to kind of make a T shape. You are just going to repeat this process of making lines that are attached to other lines, going from one side of the paper to a line. And you're going to want to just make squares and rectangles for this. So you're going to repeat making the lines. Now your squares and rectangles can be as big or as small as you would like, but I would like to see at least 10 squares or rectangles on your page. So when we're looking at mine, we can count them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is pretty filled, and it has at least 10 squares or rectangles. So now I'm going to just let this black paint dry before we start with the colors. So once the black paint is dry, you're going to go in with your primary colors. So the primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. We are not going to mix these colors at all because in a lot of Piet Mondrian's artworks, he had the primary colors plus black and white. So for this, you're going to choose one of the colors. You have to use all three at least once. So I'm going to go in with red, and I'm going to choose a square or rectangle that I want, and I'm just going to paint it in. So you just fill it in, and you're going to try to stay in the box as much as you can. Of course, if you go outside of your shape a little bit, it is not a big deal, but really just try and take your time to fill in the box. When you're trying to stay in the lines, I find it easy to just go right up to one of the sides and just bring it straight down. You can also go then the other way and just go straight along that side. So kind of like you're tracing it, but you're using paint. So then before you go with another color, you want to clean off your paintbrush. So we're going to take a cup, and we're just going to put the paintbrush all the way to the bottom and just move it around to get the paint off. And as you can see, there is no more red on my brush. You're then going to want to dry your paintbrush off a little bit. And that kind of just removes any extra paint that you saw on there. So now we can go in with another color. I'm going to choose yellow. And I think with this yellow, I'm going to go right next to the red in this big box here. And I'm just going to paint it in. Again, I'm going to try to stay in this box as much as I can. So I just choose a side, and then I just follow that line, that black line, to fill it in. And as you can see here, there is a little bit of black that was not dry, but this is fine because we can just paint over it or just leave it if you really want. If it bothers you, you can try to paint over it, but sometimes with black, it does show through with the very light colors like yellow. So I'm just going in and filling this square up. So now I'm done with the yellow, so I'm just rinsing off my paintbrush again. And to do that, you put your paintbrush all the way to the bottom of the cup and move it around. And then you just dry it off. So now I've used red and yellow, so I just have to use blue. So I'm just going to take blue and choose one of the shapes to paint in blue. So I think I'm going to go with this one right here. So I'm going to paint it in. You can start in the middle or at the sides and just paint it in. So now my blue square is all filled, and I have used blue, yellow, and red at least once. So now I can go in and choose what other colors I want these spaces to be. So maybe I want another blue space, and I'll go blue right here. So I can just fill that in with blue. And I'm being careful again to make sure that I do not go into this black. We want to work on staying within the lines, so we are just being very careful around those edges. So now I think I want to do another yellow space. So I'm cleaning my brush, and then I'm gonna go in with yellow again. And I think I'm gonna go way up here at the top and fill in this yellow space. Now with some of Piet Mondrian's artworks, he did have some white squares. So if you want to leave white squares or rectangles, you can definitely do that. You don't have to fill all of the shapes in, but I would like you to fill in at least 7 of your shapes. Right now I have 6 shapes that are painted in, so I'm going to need to do at least 1 more. So I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my last square that I have to fill in, I'm going to choose this little one, and that will be my 7 squares or rectangles that are filled in. So this nice little small one is very easy to fill in. Now, of course, once you reach 7, you can continue to paint them and add more color to it. This is really up to you. If you want to continue to paint, you can look at what you have so far and think, there's kind of a lot of space here that is white. So what color could I fill in and kind of break it up? I think I'm going to take this blue and fill in this rectangle right here. We don't want a ton of white squares, so we're just trying to fill this in a little bit more. Of course, if you truly think that your artwork looks good, you're proud of it, you like it, you think you're done, that's fine. It is up to you, as long as you have used blue, yellow, and red at least once, and you have filled in at least 7 of your squares with either blue, red, or yellow. So I'm liking that so far. And now I'm kind of seeing, I think this square here should be filled in. I don't really want to go with blue because then I'll have 2 blue squares right next to each other. Of course, if you want your blue squares to be next to each other, you can do that. But I think that I would like a different color. So I think I'm gonna go with yellow and fill that square in with yellow. So I'm taking my yellow paint on a clean paintbrush and just filling this square in. Starting in the middle, and then I'm going to slowly and very carefully kind of trace that edge. So there we go. I think this is looking pretty good. I like that I have 3 white squares, and then I have the rest that are filled in, and I have used all of the colors. So now we are going to let it dry. And once dry, you will have a nice abstract painting inspired by Piet Mondrian. Thank you for watching. This is Art with Joyce.